Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is John Faraclas from allaboutShipping.co.uk on Friday, the 19th of September 2014. Here is our 36th recapitulation of the shipping markets and world geopolitics. It's the 6th week that the BDI, the Baltic Dry Index, is above the 1,000 points, but there's a but. It closed down at 1,075 points, which is 14 points since yesterday, Thursday, and 106 points since last week's closing. The BCI, the Baltic Cape Size Index, it was also down 80 points at 2,112, which is 434 points since last week. Mind in midweek we have seen a fall on Thursday of 100 points, on Wednesday 150 points, and again volatility at its best. The next size, which also saw the volatile situation, was the Baltic Panamax Index, which was also down 4 points at 814, which was also 61 points since last week's closure. So, again, I repeat, we have to repeat this, is the volatility, but may I say that there is an oxymoron here, hence the title of this reporting, that the indexes are downwards, but the freights are up. There is an average of $1,000 per day on the Capers and on the Panamaxes that have gone up. On the other sizes now, the other two remaining dry index, the Baltic, the BSI was up 1 point at 1,029, but it was another 23 points up since last week, and the BHSI was up 4 points since yesterday and 21 since last week. So the smaller sizes, they've got an up, but overall the market was down. The wets, mixed feelings again, but downwards. The BDTI was down 10 points at 615 and 30 since last week's closing. And the cleans, 1 point up at 552, but 9 points down since last week. So there is an oxymoron here as well. We have to pay attention of what is going on. We hope that we will see explanations how these indexes that were reported today, Friday the 19th, and to see what is coming up. Now, this level of the Baltic 30 index is giving an alarm bell, and we are waiting to see what is going to happen. We hear some orderings, but let's see what will happen. But the dry index now, the general index, is 52.2% below the closing of December of 2013. It's 1,172 points down, and I remind you that the level of the closing in December was 2,247. So this is an important fall. Still, we shouldn't, count our eggs before they're hatched, because the last 2 weeks, as you know very well, many people, they were jubilant. So stay on path, be cool. Now, geopolitics, which is another important issue that affects the markets. The Ukrainian saga continues, and you know dead well that every single hour new things are taking place. I don't know what is going to happen there. When I know what's going to happen, it's going to be a total mess, and this is very important. Let's see how this affects the trade. The Middle East produces more tremors, and again, this is something which is not nice, and as you will read in the report here, we are very much concerned about this beheading of journalists and others. This is not on. Kidnapping and the usage of humans as exchanges is not on, and this will spread around. On the other hand, we can see now dealings with Tehran. The Americans carry things that they believe that Tehran will support, and Tehran shows another face in this conflict. We shall see. Turkey is also a country to watch in the region, and there are developments which I'm sure tomorrow people will learn new developments between what has happened with some Turkish hostages. It's something that we will know tomorrow, Saturday. Now, other effects of the markets, the Far East. But before I go to the Far East, let me end with the region of Mediterranean and the Middle East, Libya, another mess there, and we shall see what's going to happen. Europe in tatters, the economic problems, austerity and others, and of course what happens in Ukraine greatly affects Europe. Germany is very much concerned, the Baltic states as well. We shall see what is going to happen to Europe. Greece, of course, a country to watch. I guess that austerity has its day, and I think that we should start another countdown because the Greek people cannot afford to stay like this. Of course, we know what is happening, but there is always a way of alleviating not just the pain, the death of the Greek economy. The Greek economy should come up. And this will happen only with development and a freezing situation of the reducement of the income of the workforce. Unemployment level was just 0.5 improved, still at 26.5, 27%. That's not good news. What is important to understand these days, of course, is that the Far East, which we mentioned earlier on, there will be big tsunamis. And I'm afraid that we're going to have a total global conflagration in this hotspot, South China Sea, the Black Sea. We never know what's going to happen in the North Sea and Baltic Seas. You never know. And then don't forget that the Islamic terrorists, they might strike. Don't forget that the 4/5 of the straits in the world are in the hands of countries that they are under Islam. And this is very, very important. They must get their act together to avoid any hiccups vis-à-vis the passage of ships there and what's going to happen. Now, Africa, the Ebola, again, a very big issue to watch. It's spreading and we must see something concrete. What is very important, which we have referred last week, was the illegal immigration. Illegal immigration, unfortunately, it produced, again, marine accidents, let's call them, and people have lost their lives in the Mediterranean, in particular, people escaping from the war fronts of Syria, of Libya and other places, and of course, because of the low economic conditions prevailing in other countries. And again, from as far as Afghanistan, people are coming through the zones to Europe, and this is not on. We have just learned that in Greece some port police stations are closing down, and we hope that this closure will not affect this important issue of tracking down illegal immigration, and the head of the Greek Coast Guard will ensure that he has the means and he transfers these people to specialist boats and deter the incoming influx of illegal immigrants. And this is really very important. I don't know, but it is time, as we have said, we need to see a European Coast Guard. That Coast Guard, of course, must have a mandate. To create a Coast Guard without a mandate is exactly the same what happens in near Somalia and the Red Sea as well, and whereas there's not any mandate and the pirates are having a great time. We should stop this. On other issues, as you know very well, we are coming now very close to the Capital Links event in 3-4 days, and also we have just learned that the IUMI in Hong Kong, International Union of Marine Insurers, are having the big event there for nearly 2 weeks. We have just ended today the 2 days 9th International Roadshow of the Athens Exchange in London. It was, on all counts, the best ever organized event. And of course the success is not just to say that it was a great event. Just over 1,000 meetings took place between listed companies and prospective investors in this country and from elsewhere. That was a great success from the team of the Athens Exchange. And we repeat what we have continuously been repeating in the past, that the development of Greece is going through and only the Athens Stock Exchange. and this is important to see not only other products but the marine products, which is not just the shipping companies of ocean-going shipping, which I'm sure we will see them in, alike we have the coastal shipping services, we've got the ports, terminals, we're going to have new ports and terminals in the region, and of course maritime tourism with marinas and other aspects which will bring money to all in all intents and purposes. I am, really concerned of what's the next day after, and everybody, over here in the United Kingdom, we had the referendum with Scotland. It was a wide win of the no vote. That's important. And despite the fact that, people can see that if you go away, what might happen. In Catalonia, they are really wanting the referendum there as well. But anyway, the good thing is that there's not a breakup of the union, which was going to cost a lot of money, not for the rest of the countries who comprise it, but also for Europe and the world at large. The London show in New York was over, as well as the London Fashion Week, which we will come to another stage to tell you some hiccups that they took place. This is all in all the news, and we wish you a lovely and safe weekend. This is John Faraclas from allaboutshipping.co.uk. Over and out.